Right now, if you were thrown back about 2 million years into the past, standing in front of you would be a gigantic cave lion, twice the size of any lion you've ever seen. What would you do? Fight that monster or become its dinner? This video will save your life. Throughout human history, we were not always at the top of the food chain. On the contrary, we were prey in the food chains of many ancient animals. So how did our ancestors overcome all these dangers to survive and thrive? There are 5 tiers. Tier 1, easy XP. Tier 2, annoying. Tier 3, nightmare fuel. Tier 4, the apex. And finally, Tier 5, the final boss. 1. Saber-toothed tiger, Smilodon, a distant relative of your house cat today. Smilodon is an extinct genus of the subfamily Machairodontinae within the cat family, a giant kitty with 2 28-centimeter blades in its mouth, weighing around 220 kilograms to 400 kilograms, and standing 120 centimeters tall. They lived in the Americas from about 2.5 million years ago to 10,000 years ago. Unlike their ancestor Megantereon, which at least had aerial balancing skills and could therefore climb trees, Smilodon was too heavy to climb. Instead, it used forests and bushes to ambush its prey. Thanks to its extremely powerful, heavily muscled body, it attacked by leaping onto its prey and pinning down even large animals such as bison and young mammoths. Its canine teeth could be very long, but they were quite fragile and easily broken. Therefore, it had a special jaw structure that allowed it to open its mouth extremely wide, from 95 to 120 degrees, twice as wide as modern cats. Smilodon did not bite the neck and slowly suffocate its prey like modern tigers or lions. Instead, it delivered an extremely powerful and rapid decisive slash to the neck or abdomen, severing major blood vessels and the trachea, causing the prey to die almost instantly. The first way to survive during this time is simple. Live in groups, 5 people making loud noises, while throwing rocks and spears from every direction. Many predators do not want to get injured, because an injury could mean starving to death. But if you're alone, I think you should use every climbing skill you have and get up the tallest tree possible. For the saber-toothed tiger, I place it in Tier 3. 2. Mammuthus, an extinct genus of ancient elephants. They existed from 4.8 million years ago until about 4,500 years ago. They stood around 3 to 3.3 meters tall. In Siberia, scientists discovered fossilized tusks measuring up to 3.5 meters long and curved. Sounds terrifyingly huge, right? They're massive, but they panic easily. You just need to work with your tribe to drive them into a pit trap filled with sharpened wooden stakes, or even simpler, force them toward a cliff. The amount of meat from one would feed your tribe for a month. For a giant but slow-moving animal, I give it Tier 1, Easy XP 3. Cave hyena, the ancestor of the modern African spotted hyena. They once competed with Neanderthals for shelter in Europe. Their size varied depending on habitat, but on average, they weighed around 88 kilograms. Like modern spotted hyenas, cave hyenas were highly intelligent and are believed to have lived in packs based on fossils found in caves. They were also among the apex predators of their time. Why do I say they once competed with Neanderthals for housing? Before humans mastered fire, they survived by sleeping in tall trees or caves to avoid predators. So if you left home and came back to find a family of hyenas sleeping in your house, it wouldn't be surprising at all. They didn't just compete for shelter. Sometimes they would even steal their food. Although quite rare, evidence from up to 13 sites in Western Europe shows that humans butchered cave hyenas. However, in some hyena dens, scientists have also found evidence that cave hyenas attacked Neanderthals. They traveled in numbers and were highly intelligent, so your only real option was to use fire to drive them away. Cave hyenas aren't extremely large, but they hunt in packs and are highly intelligent. I place them in Tier 2. Annoying. 4. Giant ground sloth, Megatherium americanum. An extinct genus of ground sloth that lived from about 2 million to 8,000 years ago. They were elephant-sized and among the largest land mammals ever to exist. Although they usually moved on all fours, their footprints show they were capable of walking on 2 legs, standing upright. They reached twice the height of an elephant, around 6 meters tall. There is a common misconception that saber-toothed cats hunted giant ground sloths. But in reality, they were far too large for the big cats to attack. They preferred living alone, spending their days standing by a good tree and eating, completely ignoring everything around them. Richard Farina and Ernesto Blanco from the Universidad de la República in Montevideo analyzed the skeletal fossils of M. americanum and found that the olecranon process, the part of the elbow where the triceps muscle attaches, was very short. This adaptation is found in carnivorous animals and is optimized for speed rather than strength. The researchers suggested this may have allowed M. americanum to use its claws like daggers. The conclusion is that due to living in food-poor environments, Megatherium may have even stolen prey from Smilodon. Pretty impressive, huge, slow-moving, and leaf-eating. I think if you don't bother them, they won't attack you, but still, keep your distance. When hungry, they're not so gentle. I give Megatherium americanum Tier 1, Easy XP alongside Mammuthus. 5. Giant short-faced hyena, Pachycrocuta brevirostris. Before the cave hyena, there existed the largest hyena species ever known, commonly called the giant short-faced hyena because it stood about 90 to 100 centimeters tall and had an estimated average weight of 110 kilograms, roughly the size of a lioness. The jaws of Pachycrocuta were so powerful that they could crush mammoth bones to suck out the marrow. It first appeared around 2.6 to 2 million years ago. It became extinct in Europe, while it survived in East Asia until at least 500,000 years ago, and possibly even later in other parts of Asia. Pachycrocuta is often thought to have been a kleptoparasitic scavenger, using its enormous size to drive other predators, such as Homotherium and Meganterion, away from carcasses. Pachycrocuta also competed with ancient humans in Europe. Evidence from mammoth carcasses in Spain shows that both humans and Pachycrocuta fed on them, and of course, they ate humans too. The most shocking evidence comes from the Zhoukoudian site of Peking man, Homo erectus. Many ancient human skull fragments found there show characteristic fracture patterns, caused by Pachycrocuta biting into the facial region to consume the brain. Many human bone fragments also show signs of erosion from stomach acid, proving that they had been swallowed by this hyena species, although it is still unclear whether they actively hunted humans or simply scavenged human remains. They were terrifying, massive, and traveled in packs. Besides preying while running with a torch in your hand, swinging it wildly, or having a large group of brothers armed with atlatls, I don't think you should ever confront them. Something this terrifying earns Tier 3, Nightmare Fuel. 6. Giant short-faced bear, Arctodus. An extinct bear native to North America that lived from about 3 million to 11,000 years ago. This is considered the largest terrestrial carnivorous mammal ever known. Adult Arctodus simus weighed between 300 and 950 kilograms. The largest male stood 1.67 meters at the shoulder and reached up to 3.4 meters tall when standing on their hind legs. Thanks to their enormous bodies, they were terrifying predators of other mammals of their time. Arctodus had relatively slender limbs that may have allowed it to move at speeds of 50 to 70 kilometers per hour, similar to an African cheetah. Against a killing machine like this, ancient humans usually avoided them. Later, with the development of fire and hunting tools, humans contributed to their extinction through hunting, a monster at the top of the food chain, extremely dangerous, and with almost no weaknesses. Even with fire and tools, humans would suffer enormous losses trying to hunt one. I think they would have been the ultimate challenge of the ancient world. There's no way I can place them anywhere except Tier 4, the apex. So far, no species has reached Tier 5. What do you think was the unbeatable threat for ancient humans? 5 seconds to answer in the comments. The answer is humans and the weather. You may find ways to survive predators, but against more advanced humans with better resources, you wouldn't adapt fast enough. Ancient human species such as Neanderthals and Denisovans gradually interbred with Homo sapiens and disappeared. Harsh climate changes destroyed familiar habitats, bringing disease and countless new challenges. These monsters absolutely belong in Tier 5, the final boss. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. See you in the next video. Please support me by subscribing to the channel and hitting the like button so I have more motivation to create more content. Leave a comment so we can chat together.